Chosen one, stop everything for a moment. Quiet your spirit. Take a breath. This is not the hour to rush past the signal. God has just confirmed your victory, but the confirmation did not arrive the way your mind expected. It did not come with noise. It did not come with applause. It came as a witness inside your soul. You have felt it. Something has shifted. You may not be able to explain it yet, but deep within you, there is a strange knowing that the battle is no longer moving the same way. The pressure is still visible. The evidence may still look unfinished, but your spirit has begun to sense what your eyes have not fully seen. Listen carefully. This message is not here to entertain your fear. It is here to confirm what heaven has already whispered to you. The thing you prayed about has not been ignored. The tears you cried in private were not wasted. The silence you endured was not empty. God was not absent while you were being tested. You thought you were losing because things became quiet. You thought you were falling behind because certain doors did not open. You thought maybe you had missed your moment because the answer did not arrive when your heart expected it. But sometimes heaven confirms victory before earth shows proof, because God wants your spirit to stand before your circumstances change. That is why you must listen carefully. The sign is not always loud. The sign is not always dramatic. The sign is not always someone coming back to apologize, or money arriving overnight, or the crowd finally recognizing your name. Sometimes the first sign of victory is that fear no longer owns your reaction. Chosen one, that is not small, that is not random, that is not just emotional growth. When the same thing that used to break you can no longer command your peace, something has been settled in the spirit. Your enemy may still be making noise, but the chain around your inner life has already cracked. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing this because your mind was wandering. There are moments when heaven interrupts the ordinary path of your day to place a confirmation directly in front of you. This is one of those moments. Do not harden your heart. Do not explain it away. Do not call holy timing a coincidence. God has been watching how you handled the hidden war. He saw every time you wanted to quit, but still chose faith. He saw every night you had no strength to pray, but still whispered his name. He saw the moments when you smiled in front of people while carrying a battle they would never understand. You were not forgotten. You were being measured, not by the opinions of people, but by the weight you could carry without becoming bitter. Not by how loudly you defended yourself, but by how deeply you trusted when nobody could see the proof. Heaven kept a record when earth kept moving past you. This is why the confirmation feels different. It does not feel like panic. It feels like a quiet line being drawn inside you. Something in you is saying, I am not going back. Something in you is saying, I do not need to beg anymore. Something in you is saying, the verdict has already changed. But you must understand this. Victory confirmed does not always mean victory displayed. There is a sacred gap between what heaven has sealed and what earth can see. In that gap, many chosen ones panic. They rush, they chase, they try to force visible proof because they are afraid the promise will disappear. Do not do that. Do not move from fear. Do not chase the thing God has already placed under his authority. The fact that you cannot see the full manifestation yet does not mean the word failed. It means your spirit is being trained to stand on confirmation before your hands can touch evidence. Look back for a moment. There were times when you wanted a door to open and it stayed shut. You cried over it. You questioned yourself. You wondered if rejection meant failure. But later, you realized that closed door was not punishment. It was protection wearing the face of delay. There were people you wanted to keep. You tried to explain your heart. You tried to prove your loyalty. You tried to make them see the real you. But God let some connections drift because they were attached to the old version of your pain, not the new version of your purpose. There were seasons when your prayers felt like they were hitting a ceiling. You kept asking. You kept waiting. You kept searching for a sign. And while you thought nothing was happening, God was removing what could not travel with the victory he had already prepared for you. Now the confirmation is here. Not because everything looks perfect, not because everyone understands you, not because the room has started clapping. The confirmation is here because the same storm that once controlled your breath no longer controls your obedience. Please hear this. Your victory is not fragile. It is not hanging by the opinion of another person. It is not waiting for the one who doubted you to approve it. When God confirms a thing, human resistance can delay the view, but it cannot cancel the verdict. That is why the enemy tried so hard to exhaust you. He wanted you to mistake weariness for defeat. He wanted you to think silence meant abandonment. He wanted you to believe the absence of applause meant the absence of blessing. But the attack was never proof that you were losing. The attack was proof that something had already been announced over you. Darkness does not fight empty vessels with that kind of pressure. Confusion does not chase a person with no assignment. If the battle became intense, it was because something about your future had already disturbed the kingdom of fear. Still, God did not allow it to destroy you. You bent, but you did not break. You cried, but you did not curse your calling. You were wounded, but you did not surrender your identity. Even when your faith felt small, heaven recognized that you were still facing forward. This is the part you need to hold. The victory was confirmed before your emotions fully caught up. God did not wait until you felt strong to speak over your outcome. He did not wait until you looked confident. He confirmed it while you were still gathering the pieces of yourself. That means your weakness did not disqualify you. Your tears did not cancel you. Your questions did not make God leave the room. The fact that you were honest about the pain did not make you faithless, because heaven knows the difference between rebellion and a wounded heart trying to believe. Stay with this. Do not drift. Do not let distraction steal the word that came to strengthen you. Before this message ends, you will understand the one sign that proves your victory is already sealed. And next, you will see why the battle was real, why the pressure was allowed, and why none of it had the authority to cancel what God has confirmed. Chosen one, the battle was real. Do not let anyone make you feel dramatic for calling it warfare. You were not imagining the heaviness. You were not weak because you felt tired. There are seasons when the pressure around a person becomes proof that something valuable is being guarded inside them. You have carried attacks that never made sense to people. They saw the outside and thought you were fine. They heard your voice and assumed you were strong. But they did not see the nights when your mind would not rest, and they did not feel the weight sitting over your spirit before morning came. That pressure did not come because you were abandoned. It came because your promise was being contested. The enemy did not fight you because you had nothing. He fought you because something in your life had already been marked by heaven. Empty ground does not attract that kind of resistance. You need to hear this clearly. Delay was not denial. Silence was not rejection. Distance was not failure. Some things slowed down because the hand of God was covering what your impatience would have exposed too soon. Protection often feels like frustration when you cannot see what God is blocking. You thought the waiting was wasting you. It was not. You thought the closed door was humiliating you. It was not. The door that refused to open was sometimes the mercy that kept you from entering a room where your victory would have been drained by the wrong hands. Some people were removed from your path before you understood why. You cried over them. You missed them. You wondered why the connection changed so fast. But heaven saw the conversation you could not hear, and God knew which hearts were attached to your access but not your assignment. That is why certain relationships became uncomfortable. Not every loss was an attack. Some losses were cleansing. Some exits were answers. Some silence was the sound of God protecting your next level from people who loved your light only when it served their darkness. God did not ask you to win every argument. He asked you to remain clean. He did not ask you to chase every person who walked away. He asked you to obey the separation. Sometimes the proof that you are maturing is that you can let a false witness leave without begging them to tell the truth. The battle was real because the cost was real. You lost sleep. You lost appetite. You lost interest in things that used to excite you. You became quieter, not because you had nothing to say, but because your spirit had entered a season where shallow noise felt dangerous. There were days when you did not know what to pray. You just sat there. You looked at the wall. You felt like heaven was far away. But even then, something in you refused to fully surrender to despair, and that small refusal was louder in the spirit than you realized. Do not despise that small refusal. That was faith breathing under pressure. That was the seed still alive in the soil. That was the part of you God preserved when everything else felt numb. You may have called it barely surviving, but heaven called it endurance. The enemy wanted you to believe that exhaustion meant defeat. But exhaustion is not always defeat. Sometimes exhaustion means you fought while wounded, kept standing while grieving, and continued obeying while your emotions had no evidence to lean on. That kind of endurance is not ordinary. You were being formed in secret, not punished, formed, not rejected, refined. The fire did not come to erase you. The fire came to reveal what could not be burned. There is a difference between being destroyed and being purified, and this season has shown the difference inside you. Look at what no longer controls you. That is evidence. Look at what no longer makes you beg. That is evidence. Look at what no longer has the power to pull you out of character. That is evidence. Your victory is not only coming toward you, it is already working within you. Still, your mind had to survive much pressure. Your body carried alarms for too long. Your nervous system learned to expect bad news. Your thoughts learned to scan every room for danger, and even when God sent peace, you sometimes struggled to recognize it because survival had become familiar. This is why clarity matters now. Some chosen ones are not confused because God is silent. They are confused because pressure has trained their inner world to live in noise. When your mind stays under strain for too long, even a confirmed word can feel hard to receive. You do not need more fear. You do not need more spiritual panic. You do not need another voice shouting at your wounded place. Sometimes what you need is the quiet return of your inner signal, the place where your discernment becomes clear enough to separate instruction from anxiety. Because there is a difference. Anxiety rushes. Instruction settles. Anxiety demands proof. Instruction carries peace. Anxiety makes you chase. Instruction teaches you to wait with authority. And in this confirmed season, you must learn which voice is speaking before you move. That is why God slowed you down. He was not withholding victory. He was training your hearing. He was teaching you not to respond to every pressure, every invitation, every accusation, every sudden opportunity. A door can open and still not be sent by God. You are not late. Let that settle. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not too damaged to receive what was promised. The years did not steal your name from the book of heaven, and the delay did not erase what the hand of God already signed. God confirmed your victory while you were still healing, because He wanted you to stop measuring the promise by your pain. Pain can be loud, pain can sound final, pain can tell you that nothing will change. But pain is not prophecy, and pain does not have the authority to rename what God already called blessed. That was mercy. That was the hand of God. That was the hidden rescue you did not have language for. You thought you were holding on to God, but many times God was holding on to you when your grip had grown too weak to trust. Chosen one, the victory was confirmed in the same season that stripped you. That is why it confused you. You expected victory to feel full, loud, and celebrated. But God often confirms victory after removing everything that would compete with His voice in the next chapter. The battle was real, but it could not cancel you. The delay was heavy, but it could not erase you. The rejection was painful, but it could not reduce you. The silence was long, but it could not separate you from the word already spoken over your life. Now something is changing. You may not see the full evidence yet, but your response is different. You do not panic the same way. You do not break the same way. You do not reach for the old comfort the same way. That change is not small. It is a sign. It is a witness. It is the beginning of visible victory forming through invisible obedience. And the strangest proof of victory is not that the attack stopped. It is what happened inside you when the attack no longer controlled your reaction. Chosen one, now you must look at the evidence heaven already left around you. It may not look like what you asked for. It may not sound like what you expected. But God has been speaking through the quiet changes, because some confirmations arrive as inner shifts before they arrive as outer proof. The first sign is peace before proof. Not perfect peace, not constant peace, but a strange, settled place inside you that rises even while the situation still looks unfinished. You cannot explain why you are not panicking the same way, and that quiet strength is often the receipt heaven gives before the package arrives. You have been asking God for a sign, but you kept looking outside first. You wanted the phone call. You wanted the apology. You wanted the door to open in front of everyone. Yet God was showing you something deeper, because the first room He changed was the room inside you. You stopped begging for what once controlled you. That is evidence. You stopped explaining to people who had already chosen misunderstanding. That is evidence. You stopped rehearsing the same wound every night. When your soul no longer bows to the old torment, heaven is showing you that a verdict has changed. The second sign is your loss of appetite for old chains. The thing that used to tempt you does not pull with the same force. The conversation that used to trap you now feels small. The relationship that used to define your mood now feels distant, and your spirit knows it cannot return there without shrinking. The third sign is that closed doors no longer feel like death. You may still feel disappointment. You may still need time to breathe. But something in you now understands that not every closed door is rejection. Some doors close because God saw what your hope could not see. Think about Joseph. A pit looked like the end. A prison looked like delay. A forgotten season looked like abandonment. But every hidden place was part of a road that human eyes could not measure. God was not confused when Joseph was unseen, because the palace was already included in the process. This is why you cannot judge your victory by the room you are standing in today. A field can still carry a king. A prison can still carry a dreamer. A wilderness can still carry a prophet. The place may look low, but the word over your life is not low. The fourth sign is that your discernment is sharper. You can feel when something is off. You can sense when a smile has hidden poison behind it. You can hear when a door sounds good, but carries wrong timing. This is not paranoia when it produces peace and wisdom. This is discernment being restored. You used to ignore those quiet checks in your spirit. You talked yourself out of them. You gave people too many chances to violate what God had already warned you about. But now you pause. You listen. You wait. You do not call every opportunity a blessing just because it looks shiny. The fifth sign is that certain people can feel your absence now. They may not say it. They may not confess it. They may act proud. But something shifted when you stopped chasing. The energy around you changed when your obedience became stronger than your need to be understood. They thought your silence meant defeat. They thought your distance meant weakness. They thought you would return to the same pattern because you always used to explain yourself. But heaven trained you in the hidden place, and now your silence carries a boundary they cannot control. The sixth sign is that God is giving you clarity in small flashes. It may come in a moment of quiet. It may come during a walk. It may come when you wake up and suddenly know what you can no longer carry. These flashes are not random. They are pieces of instruction returning to your awareness. Do not despise the small clarity. A clear no can save years. A clear wait can protect a promise. A clear release can close a painful cycle. A clear yes can open the door that fear kept you from touching. Sometimes, victory begins with one sentence inside your spirit. Chosen one. These signs are not separate. They are connected. Peace before proof. Changed desire. Closed doors. sharper discernment, protected silence, and small flashes of clarity are all witnesses that something has shifted beneath the surface. God is not only moving things around you, He is moving things within you. Your victory is not only coming as an event, it is coming as a new nature. The person who needed old approval is dying. The person who panicked at every delay is fading. The person who confused intensity with love is being healed, and a steadier version of you is rising. But now, clarity is returning, not all at once, not every hour, but it is coming in holy moments that feel like light breaking through a crowded mind. You are beginning to know what is not yours anymore, and you are beginning to recognize what God has been protecting all along. This is why clarity matters so much in a season of confirmed victory. There is a state of the mind where focus becomes bright, intuition feels cleaner, and the inner signal feels easier to hear. Many people connect that sharp and awakened state with gamma, the rhythm often linked with heightened awareness. Not as magic, not as a replacement for prayer, not as a substitute for obedience, but as a reminder that your inner world matters when you are carrying a confirmed word. A fogged mind can make a blessed person move from fear, while a clearer spirit can wait with authority. Some chosen ones have lived under pressure for so long that clarity feels unfamiliar. You may remember a younger version of yourself that sensed things quickly, dreamed deeply, and understood what others could not explain. Then pain, stress, and survival covered that brilliance with second-guessing. But God is not finished with that part of you. The gift did not die. The signal was buried under noise. The discernment was pressured, but it was not erased. And in this season, God is calling you back to the clear place where instruction sounds different from anxiety. That is why you must guard your atmosphere. Guard what enters your ears. Guard what enters your eyes. Guard what keeps pulling your mind into panic. The victory is confirmed, but the environment around your spirit still matters, because what you feed will influence how you carry the word. Do not run after every sign. Do not force every detail. Do not demand that God prove Himself in the exact way your fear prefers. The signs are already around you. The peace, the boundary, the changed hunger, the sharper discernment, and the quiet strength are already testifying. Now comes the part many chosen ones miss. God can confirm a victory, and you can still mishandle the season if you move from fear instead of instruction. You have seen the evidence around you, but the next step is sacred. Your victory is confirmed, but your obedience must now become sharper than your urgency. Chosen one, listen carefully. This is the part where your spirit must become still. Your victory is confirmed, but your obedience is still being watched. God did not bring you this far so you could panic at the edge of breakthrough, and He did not confirm the victory so fear could become your advisor. Do not rush, do not chase, do not return to the old pattern just because the evidence is not fully visible yet. Many chosen ones lose peace after a confirmed word because they try to force the promise to look public before God has finished making it secure. This is sacred instruction. The victory is not something you are still begging heaven to approve. The victory has already been settled in the Spirit. Now the question is not whether God can do it. The question is whether you can carry it without letting fear drive your hands. You have already seen the signs. Peace before proof. Closed doors that protected you. Sharper discernment. Changed desires. Silence that became a boundary. A strange calm that appeared in the middle of pressure. These were not random movements. They were witnesses around your life. Now heaven is asking you to stop moving like someone who has been abandoned. You cannot carry a confirmed victory with a rejected identity. You cannot walk into a new season while still begging old voices to name you. God already named you before people had an opinion. This is why the next instruction is simple, but it is not easy. Be still. Do not respond from the wound. Do not send the message just to prove you are strong. Do not post from bitterness. Do not explain yourself to people who already decided not to hear you. Victory confirmed does not mean every enemy disappears immediately. Sometimes it means their power over your reactions has ended. Sometimes it means they can still speak, but their words no longer enter the inner court of your peace. That is a deeper victory than applause. The one sign that proves your victory is sealed is this: you no longer need the thing that once controlled your peace. You can remember it without running back. You can see it without collapsing. You can feel the emotion rise and still choose obedience. Chosen one, this is where heaven marks maturity. Not when everything is easy, not when everyone is kind, not when every door opens. Heaven marks maturity when your spirit stops negotiating with chains that God already broke, and when your peace becomes too expensive for fear to purchase. But now you must protect that settlement. Guard your mind, guard your ears, guard your atmosphere. Guard the hour after you receive confirmation, because the enemy often waits until after the word comes to test whether you will carry it with fear or with faith. A confirmed victory can still be mishandled by an anxious vessel. That is why God keeps saying, listen carefully. The instruction is not complicated. Stop chasing proof. Stop forcing timing. Stop asking wounded people to validate holy work. Stop returning to rooms where your discernment already said leave. Your obedience is the container now. Your silence is the weapon now. Your clarity is the shield now. Your patience is the door now. The battle is not about earning the victory anymore. It is about refusing to sabotage what God has already confirmed. Do you see it now? The enemy was not only trying to stop your blessing, he was trying to train your reactions. He wanted you jumpy, defensive, angry, needy, and exhausted. He wanted your body to live in alarm, so your spirit could not rest long enough to receive instruction. The victory is confirmed, but if your mind is still trapped in survival pressure, you may hear a confirmed word and still feel too foggy to walk in it. That fog is not your identity. It is a signal that your inner world has carried too much pressure for too long. This is why clarity must become part of your obedience. Not vanity, not performance, not trying to appear deep. True clarity is the quiet strength to know what God said, what fear said, and what old pain is trying to imitate. Without clarity, even a blessing can feel confusing. There is a reason many chosen ones are being called back to stillness. Prayer matters, scripture matters, obedience matters, wise action matters. And sometimes, your mind also needs a simple support that helps it return from pressure into a clearer and more focused inner state. That is where the Genius song fits this season so naturally. It is a simple 7-minute audio support practice made to be listened to with headphones. It is connected to the work of Dr. Robert Lake, and it was created to support a clearer state of focus, intuition, and inner awareness. It is not magic. It does not replace prayer. It does not create your gift. It does not force God to move faster. It is simply a support for the clarity, focus, intuition, and God-given ability that pressure may have buried beneath survival, stress, and mental noise. If your spirit knows this message is speaking to your season, do not keep trying to carry victory with a fogged mind. After this video, go to the pinned comment and use the official access point for the Genius song. Use the official link only, because copycat audios and random re-uploads cannot be trusted. You are not trying to become gifted. You are protecting the gift God already placed inside you. You are not trying to earn victory. You are learning how to walk in the victory that has already been confirmed. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. Now return to the instruction. Do not move from fear. Do not prove yourself to people who require your pain as evidence. Do not chase the relationship, the platform, the apology, or the opportunity if chasing it makes you betray the peace God just restored in you. Carry the victory quietly. Let God announce what needs to be announced. Let your fruit speak when the season is ready. Let the closed mouths of your enemies become part of the testimony. You do not need to clap for yourself when heaven has already recorded your obedience. This is the climax of the word. Your victory was not confirmed because the evidence appeared. Your victory was confirmed because the version of you that used to panic did not rise this time. The storm came again, but it could not find the same access point. Breathe. Let that settle. The old version would have begged. The old version would have chased. The old version would have explained until empty. But this version listens, waits, discerns, and obeys. This version is not controlled by the old threat anymore. That is how you know. That is the proof beneath the proof. That is the receipt hidden inside your spirit. You are not who you were when the battle began. And the enemy has noticed. Heaven has noticed too. God has confirmed your victory, and now He is teaching you how to carry it. So do not run ahead. Do not look back with longing. Do not trade peace for a familiar chain. The next part is not about chasing victory anymore. It is about becoming the person who can carry it with stillness, clarity, and holy confidence. Chosen one, now walk like it is already sealed. Do not walk like someone waiting for permission to breathe. Do not walk like someone still begging heaven to remember their name. God has confirmed your victory, and now your assignment is to become steady enough to carry what He has already settled. Let your spirit come down from the alarm. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your breath return. The battle was real, but it is not your master. The delay was long, but it is not your identity. The rejection was painful, but it is not the final sentence over your life. You entered this word wondering if you had lost. You wondered if the silence meant God had moved on. You wondered if your tears had fallen into empty space. But heaven has answered. Your victory is confirmed, and the proof is not only around you. The proof is forming inside you. You are not the same person who entered the storm. You may still have scars. You may still remember what happened. You may still feel the echo of certain words. But the old panic is not ruling you anymore, and the old chain is not pulling with the same authority. That is why you must not go backward. Do not return to what God delivered you from, because loneliness starts speaking loudly. Do not reopen the door because memory tries to make bondage look familiar. Do not confuse comfort with covenant. And do not mistake old access for divine assignment. Some things ended because the season ended. Some people left because their role was finished. Some doors closed because heaven was protecting the next room. You do not need to keep standing in front of a locked door, asking God to bless what He already told you to release. Your next step is not panic. Your next step is not revenge. Your next step is not explaining yourself until your soul becomes empty. Your next step is quiet obedience, because the person who has truly received confirmation does not need to perform for people who doubted the process. Carry the victory quietly. Let your peace speak. Let your boundaries speak. Let your changed reactions speak. You do not have to announce every healing moment to prove it happened, because some of the deepest victories are too sacred to be thrown into the hands of spectators. God saw what they did not see. He saw you praying through confusion. He saw you choosing restraint when your flesh wanted to answer. He saw you hold your tongue when lies were moving. He saw you keep your heart from becoming cruel, even while your heart was still hurting. You do not need to chase the apology. If it comes, receive wisdom. If it never comes, keep walking. You do not need the person who mishandled you to admit your value before you believe it. God did not ask their permission before He placed purpose inside you. You do not need to chase the open door either. What God has assigned to you knows how to find you at the right time. Your job is to stay aligned. Your job is to stay clear. Your job is to refuse every counterfeit opportunity that requires you to abandon peace. This is where many chosen ones must grow. A confirmed victory still requires a guarded life. You cannot feed your spirit fear all day and expect to carry divine confidence at night. You cannot keep drinking from old pain and wonder why your clarity feels heavy. Guard what you listen to. Guard what you watch. Guard the voices you allow to interpret your season. Some voices will make you rush. Some voices will make you doubt. Some voices will make you compare. But the voice of God will settle you while still calling you forward. If your mind has been living in fog, Do not condemn yourself. Pressure can cover brilliance. Pain can cover intuition. Long seasons of survival can make a chosen vessel second-guess the very gift God placed inside them. But buried does not mean dead, and delayed does not mean denied. This is why support matters. Prayer remains first. Obedience remains first. Scripture remains first. But if your spirit has been sensing that your mind needs help returning to a clearer inner rhythm, remember what was shared earlier about the Genius song and the official access point in the pinned comment. It is not magic. It does not replace God. It does not promise an instant life without battles. It is a simple 7-minute audio support practice made to help you return toward focus, intuition, and a clearer inner signal while you keep walking in prayer and wisdom. Now listen to the declaration over your life. Your victory is confirmed. Your name has not been forgotten. Your season is not dead. Your obedience has been recorded. The tears did not erase the promise, and the warfare did not cancel what God already spoke. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too hidden. The God who found David in the field can find you in the quiet place, and the God who remembered Joseph in prison can remember you in the waiting. Now rise with humility, not pride, not arrogance, not revenge. Rise with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that heaven has already spoken. Rise without needing to crush anyone. Rise without needing to prove pain. Rise because obedience has brought you to the edge of manifestation. You will not carry this victory like the old version of you. You will not beg while holding a promise. You will not panic while carrying a word. You will not return to chains because freedom feels unfamiliar. You will learn to live in the peace you once only prayed for. This is your instruction. Keep your hands clean. Keep your mouth guarded. Keep your spirit soft. Keep your discernment sharp. Keep your focus protected. When old fear knocks, do not open the door. When old voices call, do not hand them your peace. Let God handle the announcement. Let God handle the timing. Let God handle the witnesses. The same heaven that confirmed your victory knows how to reveal it when the hour is right. And you do not have to exhaust yourself trying to make people believe what God already knows. Receive this with your whole spirit. The battle did not cancel you. The delay did not erase you. The rejection did not define you. The silence did not mean absence. God was working in the hidden place, and now He has confirmed that the victory is yours. So breathe again. Rest your heart. Release the need to chase. Release the need to explain. Release the need to punish yourself for what you did not know before. You are here now, and the grace of God has carried you into a stronger place. If this word confirmed what your spirit has been sensing, write, "My victory is confirmed." Let that be your agreement. Let that be your witness. Let that be the sound of your old fear losing authority, and let your next step be guided by peace, clarity, and obedience. Chosen one, walk like it is sealed. Speak like it is settled. Wait like you trust the one who spoke. The victory is confirmed, but now you must carry it with a clean heart, a guarded mind, and a spirit that refuses to return to fear. Amen.